Shalom Yasharallah, giving all praise and glory to the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because he's worthy to be praised for everything. We're rounding out the last days of the Feast of Dedication, and it fell right on the new moon for us that observe it at this time. And, you know, you look at the Feast of Dedication, is really dealing with war against the Greeks and all their allies and destroying our temple. They had orgies in there. They were selling prostitutes and so forth, and sacrificing swine's flesh and all kind of unclean animals. As we read First Maccabees, the first chapter, you want to know about the Greek Empire? It's right there in First Maccabees and Second Maccabees, from the Greeks to the Romans, and it was about warfare. So it's a time that we ordained that we will remember in getting the temple dedicated back to us. And Mashiach observed it. For all you Christians out there, all you that believe in Mashiach Yahushua, he observed it in St. John 10:22. But see, you're not taught history. You taught his story when you go to school, but in religions and so forth, you're not taught true history. You're not taught our story, we as the Israelites. So therefore, you kind of be like discombobulated whenever you think about the Bible, when you read the Bible. But he observed it in St. John 10:22 down. It says the Feast of Dedication. That's what we are, the last day of at this time, the seventh day. Tomorrow will be the eighth day, which will be tomorrow evening will be the last day of the feast. So I want to go into how we're a nation, as Israelites, a nation of warriors. You can see everything that we put ourselves into in sports. Just look at it like that. We dominated, pretty much. They got rid of the public announcer of sports, Jimmy the Greek, because he said, hey, we were a special people. Like we know we special to the Most High, Deuteronomy 7:6, Deuteronomy 14:2, And we had, our structure was more better than everyone else, while we could outrun everybody and outjump everybody and outdo the things. But the Most High made us like this, you see. But we still a nation of warriors. And as I go into this, you'll see that you read the Bible, when you understand the Most High is a man of war. And when you do in war, you have strategies of how you're going to win over the enemy. And that's what you see happening right now. War everywhere. So let's go into it. Colossians 3:17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. Give thanks to the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob for everything. Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. So let's first go to Exodus. Y'all believe in the Most High? You should believe in the Most High. So let's go to Exodus 15:3. What does it say concerning the Most High? Exodus 15:3. The Most High is a man, first and foremost. He's not a woman. He's not a man and a woman. The Most High is a man of what? War. A man of war. So what you do in war? You have strategies of how you're going to kill people. How you're going to kill the enemy, right? So the Most High is a man of war. Say the Lord, but that word was created by the Europeans, the Edomites. God was created by the Europeans, Edomites too. Was God is dog spelled backwards. You see? That's why you hear us say the power, or Yahweh, or Most High, like I say, the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So that's his name forever, the memorial to all generations. Exodus 3 and 15 and 16. When he said, told Moses, go to the elder, he didn't tell him, go tell him anything, but tell him that the power, Yahweh, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, have sent me unto you, have seen our affliction and came down to see, what we was going through as the Israelites in slavery and sent him to deliver us. Like he gonna tell Hamashiach Yahushai, he gonna say, Krum Hamashiach Yahushai, rise Hamashiach Yahushai, because he's sitting on the right hand side of the Most High. So he's not gonna be coming here sitting in no chair, sitting on no throne. He coming to judge and make war in his angelic power as a warrior of the Most High, hanging out with Michael, the archangel of war right now, prepared to come and make war on this place to set down all these kingdoms that's ruling right now. And they know this. And if you don't know, you know now. You're going to know once you hear it from the word of the Most High. It's here. So the Most High is a man of war. You see? That's why you see all the things going on. Most I say, you think I ain't got my hand in it? Look, Daniel 4:17. That's why I say people give other entities, especially the devil, more credit than the Mashiach Yahushua and the Most High. Look, you're going to see that they are one. They both agree. You're not going to run from the Most High and run to your Jesus and think that you're going to get something different than what you get from the Most High. That's why you got to know him in the volume of the book. That's him in the volume of the book right there in Exodus, as the angel of the Most High or the spirit of the Most High, either or, whichever you want to use. Daniel 4:17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the matter of the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High, you hear that? The Most High, the same one we said the Most High is a man of war, him, ruleth in the kingdom of men. He ruleth in the kingdom of men and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and set it up over it the basis of men, you see? And that's where we at now. That's why you see all the converted things, the perverted things, not converted, but perverted things, and hopefully the converted things that's on this earth is us coming back to the Most High, being converted back to his word. But the reverted things, those perverts and all kind of wicked things that people are doing now, the Most High ruling over all that, watching all that. His eyes are upon this sinful kingdom. And he's saying, I'm going to destroy him off the face of the earth. Amos 9 and 8. Go there. Y'all think the Most High ain't not looking at all this wickedness that's going on? It's already written what they would do. And they doing it. They in order. Because he made the wicked for the day of evil. Amos 9 and 8. Behold, the eyes of the Most High that are 10,000 times brighter than the sun are upon the sinful kingdom. The Most High's eyes are upon the sinful kingdom. And I will destroy it from off the face of the earth. Hear that? The Most High say he's going to destroy the sinful kingdom from off the face of the earth. Because his eyes is looking down at all the sins that people are doing. What's sin? 1 John 3 and 4. What is sin? 1 John 3 and 4 defines sin. Whosoever committeth sin transgresses also the law. The laws are the Most High's laws. So if you commit sin, you transgress the Most High's law. For sin is the transgression of the law. You see? So you sinning, you transgressing the Most High's laws. He gave us moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws, and sacrificial laws. Now we know the law of sacrifice was done away with in Mashiach Yahushua, the ultimate lamb of the Most High, the ultimate sacrifice of the Most High. He died for the sins of the 12 tribes of Israel. That's why he said in Matthew 15:24, but he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Matthew 1:21, and she who is married shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahushua, for he shall save his people from their sins. Those are two personal possessive pronouns showing ownership. Come on now. The Israelites, period, who we are. So the Most High's eyes are upon this sinful kingdom. He said he's going to destroy it from off the face of the earth. Save it. He's going to save somebody. Like y'all say, all you got to do is call on the name of Jesus, you're going to be saved. No. He's saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob. He's going to save 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel. Who said this? Said the Most High. For lo, I will command, he going to give the order, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations. Like he scattered us among all nations. Like it tells us in Deuteronomy 28:64. He going to scatter us among all nations. And when we go among these nations, we're going to serve wood and stone. These religions and stones, as represent the Most High. For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in the sieve, yet not the least, which is the 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel, least grain fall upon the earth. You know what I mean? It's like if the Most High wanted us to understand everything that's written in this Bible, why would it be written and broken down the way I'm telling you that is what it means? If he wanted everybody to get this, he don't want everybody to get this. But the elect, the 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel, they're going to hear this and follow it. So look at, since the Most High is a man of war, what about Mashiach Shai? Since y'all want to run to your Jesus, let's see what he say. John 14:9. Because we got to go by the word. John 14:9. What did he say? Mashiach say, answer us. Philip asked him in verse 8, he said, Philip said unto him, Mashiach, show us the Father, and it suffices us, right? Show us the Father, it will satisfy us. So what did he tell him? Mashiach said unto him, have I been so long time with you, and yet hast thou not known me? Have you not known me? Philip, so I've been all this time with you, and you ain't known me. He that have seen me have seen the Father. Remember, we a nation of warriors. You say you seen me, you seen the Father. And how sayest thou then, show us the Father? So how you saying to me, show us the Father? Believest thou not that I am in the Father? If he in the Father, he a man of war too. And the Father in me, the Father's in him, he's in the Father's in him. The words that I speak unto you, I speak not of myself. These words that he speaking, that we see, that's in red, if y'all have a red edition Bible and so forth. He said, the words that I speak of you, I speak not of myself, but the Father that dwelleth in me. He doeth the works, you see? So he let you know, hey, like father, like son. He told you in St. John 10:30. I and my Father are one. Meaning they agree. They agree. So, Most High a man of war, Mashiach Shai is a man of war. You understand this? And overstand this. It's not, he say, I and my Father are one. They agree. Just like we got to be one. In the same mind, the same judgment. Go to 1 Corinthians 1:10. We got to be one. How? 1 Corinthians 1:10. Now I beseech you, brethren, speaking to the Israelites, by Hashem of Mashiach Yahushua, that's Mashiach Yahushua going to the Most High on our behalf, in the name of the anointed Savior, that ye all speak the same thing, that you speak the same thing, and that there be no divisions among you, but that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment. You see? We got to be joined together in the same mind and the same judgment. Why Mashiach Yahushua said, hey, I and my Father are one. So we got to be one amongst each other in the same mind, the same judgment. Because it's going down. It's just a matter of where you're going to be at when it go down. You know, you're going to be running around thinking that, oh, the Most High got me, or you prepared yourself for what it is that we got that's going down on this earth. You know, so how you going to let everything go down and you're not preparing yourself for it? That's why I say when you come to serve the Most High, prepare. Prepare. This preparation, as we're studying what's going to go down in the prophecies of the future, to be prepared for what's going to go down in the future, so when it come down, you ready. Matthew 10:34. Matthew 10:34. Matthew 10:34. You gotta be ready. You can't be saying that you can think the Most High got your back if you want to. You can be that arrogant if you want to. You better be ready. I know that. Matthew 10:34. Think not. Mashiach say, think not. Say what he say? Think not. Don't even think that I am come to send peace on earth. Hear that? Say, don't even think that I come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. Right? That sword. He came to die for the sins of Israel, but when he come back, he said he come back with a sword, right? I didn't come for peace. I came to bring a sword. To let us know he come back with a sword. Go to Revelation 19:11. Understand, overstand this. Revelation 19:11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. Right? Faithful and true. And in righteousness, which is keeping of the Most High's commandments, Deuteronomy 6:25, we went there over and over and over again. He does judge. Here he's coming back to judge and make war. That's why I say, don't think that I come to send peace. Don't even think that I come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. You better understand. See, his eyes were as a flame of fire because he's angry as ever. And on his head were many crowns, powers and authority given to him. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he is clothed with a vesture dipped in blood. Gonna be somebody's blood. It's gotta be the superpowers of the earth. Blood. As he bring these nations down. He coming to judge and make war. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood. And his name is called the Word of the Most High. You hear that? He's coming with the Word of the Most High. And the armies, he coming with armies. When he come to judge and make war, the armies which were in heaven, follow him upon white horses, pure righteous powers, clothed in fine linen. So they ain't but naked angels. Clothed in fine linen, white and clean. White and clean, right? Angels coming with white robes on. Clothed in linen, fine linen, white and clean, right? How many angels come with him? Revelation 9:16. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200 million angels. And I heard the number of them, right? So this is when you run to Jesus. This is what he's going to do. Look. Verse 13 of Revelation 19. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood. You want to know whose blood it is? Just read from the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary what it says concerning Edom. It says Edom. It says Edom figures probably in the prophetic scriptures as a scene of great future judgments. Future, that's just the future judgments. It says, she is the only neighbor of giving scriptures, Isaiah 34:5-6, Isaiah 63:1 down. She is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not given any promise of mercy from the Most High. That's what they wrote in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, you see? So they know this. The elite know this. What do you know? You know it now because you're hearing what they're saying concerning themselves. Because it tells you in 2 Ezra 6:9, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So this is what he's saying, look. And he was clothed, Revelation 19:13, and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood. And his name is called the Word of the Most High. Right? So his vesture dipped in blood. And they gave the scriptures. Go to Isaiah 34:5-6. They gave scriptures to back up that there's no mercy from the Most High for them. Isaiah 34:5. For my sword, remember he said, think not that I come to send peace on earth, I come not to send peace, but a sword. What he say? For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. That's right here on this earth. They got songs that I sing it, I'm in heaven. This their heaven. Powers and authority is heaven. This heaven is talking about powers and authority. So it could be bathed right here on this earth. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. I just happen to have the definition of Idumea right here from the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Idumea, it says, Idumea, pertaining to Edom. It's a Greek and Roman name for Edom. This is from the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. So historical come down upon the Edomites. Idumea. It said, and upon the people of my curse, which is cursed with leprosy, but clean lepers because they're fully, white in color, so-called white in color, but they're really red. To judgment. This is what they gave us to look at. The sword of the Most High is filled with blood, and the sword of Amashak is filled with blood. Remember, we said, I come not to send peace on earth, but a sword. Okay, the sword of the Most High. And Amashak Yahushai, because he comes in the power of the Most High, and his angelic power, is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Most High, while Amashak Yahushai have a sacrifice in Basra, the capital city of Edomites, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. You see, which is Edom Rome, a Greek word for Edom Rome. That's the so-called white people. So that's going back to Isaiah, said they gave us Edom, figures prominent in the prophetic scriptures as a scene of great future judgments. See notably Isaiah 34, 5 and 6, and Isaiah 63 and 1. Let's look at that. Because remember he says vegetable, vegetable be dripped with blood. So now let's look at Isaiah 63 and 1. Who is this that coming from Edom? Edom represents the indigenous, aboriginal, so-called Caucasians. Because everybody that's so-called white is not necessarily a Caucasian. You understand? So we're not dealing with skin color. We're dealing with that spirit. Listen. And who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments of from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. Now you say coming to judge and make war. Salakia. It says, I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel? Why is your clothes, why is your garment that you have on red? And that garment's like him that treadeth the winepress, somebody that's just stomping in the wine, stomping on grapes. That's what it says. It's like stomping, like somebody that's treading in the winepress, stomping on grapes to make the wine. It says, I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. So he ain't coming with no people at this time, right? He said, the people was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments. Remember it said, going back just in case you forgot, you know, our mindset sometimes cannot be functioning where we easily could forget what it's saying, especially since it's in the word. Y'all can understand what I'm saying, but the word is kind of like, you know, let's go back to see what it said, because Revelation 19 and 13 said, and he was clothed with a vesture, that means his garment dipped in blood. And his name is called the Word of the Most High. So his vesture, that's his garment, is dipped in blood. Now we're looking at the scripture that they gave us a look at in Isaiah the 63rd chapter, and look what it says. He said, verse 2, it says, wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat, like stomping on grapes? He said, why is your garments red? He said, I have trodden the winepress alone, and other people there was none with me. For I will tread them, He came, he's like he said, verse first, who is this that coming from Edom? He said, I will tread them, for I will tread them in my anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. You see how precepts go together? For the day of vengeance, you hear what he say? For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. The redeemed is the 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel. And I looked, so he looked around, and there was none to help me, none to help him. And I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore mine own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury it lifted me up. He said, and I will tread down the people. So you know the them is a people. He said, I will tread down the people in mine anger, and make them drunk in my fury, and I will bring down their strength to the earth. That's what he's saying, right? So their strength is what? Their military. He's going to bring down their military, he said, to the earth. Now, real quick, you can look at the whole story in 2nd Ezra 13th chapter. Let's go back to Revelation 19. Since he's coming to judge and make war, and we reading the results of what he's going to do. He's going to bring down their strength to the earth, right? Keep that in mind. He's going to bring down their strength, which I say is their military, the Army, the Navy, the Marines, the Air Force of all these nations, to the earth, right? Listen, going back to, because we hear, because he said, hey, think not that I come to send peace on earth, I come not to send peace, but what? A sword, right? So now, going back to Revelation 19 and 13, now that we are on the same page, he said, and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of the Most High. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, 200 million angels, as we read in Revelation 19:16, 9 and 16. And the armies which were in heaven, the angels which were in heaven, followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. This is what it says. Remember he said in Matthew 10:34, think not that I come to send peace on earth, I come not to send peace but a sword. He said, and out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword. Hear that? He said, going to bring them down to the earth, right? His strength down to the earth, right? So he said, out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword. A sharp sword. That with this sharp sword, he shall do what? Should smite or kill who? The nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. That rod of iron is the laws of the Most High. And he treaded the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of almighty power of the Most High. See? So now, he said he's going to bring down their strength to the earth, right? So we got to bring it because we're supposed to be, 1 Corinthians 3:23 says, and ye are Mashiachim. And Mashiach is the Most High. So y'all want to be like Christ, y'all want to be like Christ-like? Okay, well, this is how he is. He said, hey, I and my Father are one. We read the Most High is a man of war. So listen what he going to do. And men going to do. You're like, the Israelites, men going to be right along with the Army, the Navy, the Marines, the Air Force, because they in their orders. Straight up. So let's go to 2nd Ezra 13. Ezra had a dream. The Most High, he speaks to us in dreams and visions. Job 33 and 14 and 15. Listen to what it said. And lo, verse 2, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the ways thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. As we just reading, you see how all this go together? 200 million angels you're coming with, right? Thousands of heaven. And we read thousands of heaven. 200 million angels. And when he turned his conscience to look, all the things that were seen under him, when he turned his conscience to look, all the things trembled, that were seen under him. Gonna see that they're gonna be scared. That means trembling means they're gonna be scared. And like we gotta receive our salvation with what? Fear and trembling. So it says, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice. You hear that? He remember he's the word of the Most High. And when them words come out of his mouth, when he come to judge and make war, they're going to be burned up. Thou shalt not kill, murder. People are going to be dying, burnt up. Thou shalt not steal. People going to be burnt up. Listen, remember he said going to bring their strength to the earth. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth filleth when it filleth the fire. And you know fire is coming out of his mouth. Remember he told you in Isaiah 47:3, he will not meet them as a man. He's coming with his angelic power. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men, just the army, the navy, the marines, and the air force, out of number of all these nations that's together in preparing to fight them. That's why they got their space station up in the sky. Think whatever you want to think. They preparing to fight Mashiach Yahushua from the four winds at the four corners of the earth, of heaven. You see? To subdue the man who is a Mashiach Yahushua that came out of the sea. Okay? But I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not, because it's not a mountain. It's representing the 12 tribes of Israel, 1/3, mind you. That's going to be redeemed, the remnant. And after this I beheld, and lo, check this out, all they which were gathered together to subdue him, just the army, the navy, the marines, and the air force of all these nations from the four corners of the earth, were so afraid. You hear that? Remember it said, in verse 3, all the things trembled that were seen under him. So they're going to be afraid. That's trembling means they're going to be afraid. This is what it says. Verse 8, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid. They're going to be trembling. And yet does fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. So he ain't coming with no instrument of war as we would know it today. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth. Hear that? Once again, out of his mouth. He sent this out of his mouth. What? As it had been a blast of fire. And out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together. The blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight. You hear that? The multitude which was prepared to fight was the armies, the navies, the marines, the air forces of all the nations. That's going to be trembling and scared, but yet fighting. Mashiach Yahushua. And burned them up. You hear that? And burned them up, every one, so that upon a sudden of innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived but only dust and smell of smoke. If I was y'all, I wouldn't be trying to enlist in this war. You know what I'm saying? Nothing was to be perceived but only dust and smell of smoke. When you say gonna bring their strength down to the earth, nothing was perceived but only dust, that's on the earth, and smell of smoke. Ezra said, when I saw this, I was afraid. It scared him. When he saw this, he was afraid. Going back to, Revelation 19 and 15, and out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword. So you know what that sharp sword is? We just read about it. That with it he should smite or kill the nations that's prepared to fight him. That's why we gotta be ready. That's why we looking at a Mashiach Shai coming on this earth and showing us how we can do just what he did. Go to because he came as the rest of us. Hebrews 2 Well, we just read about his angelic power, not him in the flesh. But he was in the flesh. He told you what he's going to do. So don't you think that I come to send peace on earth. I come not to send peace, but a sword. We just read about the sword just now. Let's go back to when he's in the flesh. Hebrews 2:16. On the surface, for verily, Hebrews 2, the second chapter, the 16th verse. It says, for verily he took not on him the nature of angels. You see, when he came on the earth, he didn't take on the nature of angels. So ain't no angel pregnated Mary to bring him forth. But he took on him the seed, which is a compilation of sperm or lineage of Abraham. Right? Wherefore in all things it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren. To be made coming on this earth like the rest of us men that are Israelites. Because it tells you in Hebrews 7:14, where there's evidence of the fact that our power, Mashiach sprang out of Judah, Jacob's fourth-born son of the Israelites. Wherefore in all things it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren, that he might be a merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to the Most High, to make reconciliation for the sins of the people. We know sin is a transgression of the Most High's law. So who's the law? He says sins for the people, right? But what people? The Israelites. Because we the ones that were given the law. Psalms 147:19-20. Proving that fact. The sins of the people. What people? Because the laws were given to the people. But who are those people? Psalms 147:19-20. He showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgment unto Israel, the Israelites. What did he say? He have not dealt so with any nation. Let's read it again. He showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. We the Israelites. What did he say? He have not dealt so with any nation. Right? So any nation, these other nations outside of the 12 tribes of Israel, the Most High has not given his laws to. He have not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, meaning the punishments for breaking the Most High's laws, they have not known them. That's why he coming to judge and make war and let them see the results of breaking the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. Praise ye the Most High. That's why he told us in, just for spirit of love, Israel, lights, he told us in Lamentations 4:22. Spirit of hope. He said, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion, O 12 tribes of Israel. So our punishment is accomplished. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. The last captivity we have to go into is when the Most High told us in the last curse of Deuteronomy 28:68, the Most High going to send thee into Egypt, which means captivity, slavery, and bondage, again, another time. How? With ships. By the way, whereof thou spake unto thee, when he speak to us, he said, thou shalt see it no more again. As a nation, we haven't seen our homeland of Israel again. And there, when you go on these ships, you're going to be sold into your enemies, not your friends, but your enemies for slave men, and bond women. Slave men and slave women. Didn't they sell us on auction blocks? From all the way from 1619, really, when you could look at really from 1492 when they came here. And putting people on ships and selling them from one part of where they lived at to another part and selling them. This happened to us. Say, no man shall buy you. I mean, no man going to redeem us from the condition that the Most High put us in, that we put ourselves in for not following his laws, statutes, commandments. He said he's going to do this to us. But he said, hey, this is our last captivity. When we go on these ships and be sold to our enemies for slave men and slave women, it's the last time we have to go into captivity, y'all. This is it. Said, The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. Hallelujah. He said, he will visit thine iniquity. Uh-oh. Now that judgment is coming. He said, he's going to visit thine iniquity. O daughter of Edom. See? He's going to visit the iniquity, the wickedness, well, you're going to say, he will discover thy sins, their sins. You see? How they have transgressed the Most High's laws. You got to understand, the Bible I'm looking at, what about your Bible? It was published by the Edomites. What about your Bible? Was it published by them? So they have the word. Most High said, remember we said he ruled in the kingdom of man and set up over the basis of men. So he set up the basis of men, and they have it, so they have these Bibles published in them. It's right here. But they're never going to know what it's talking about, no matter how much you take the time to teach, because it tells you in Wisdom of Solomon 5, the 5th chapter, when salvation is coming on this earth, that in verse 7 it says, we weird ourselves the way of wickedness and destruction. We have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Most High, Mashiach Yahushua, as we teach it here, we have not known it. So they not going to ever know the way that we bringing forth this truth in its entirety. They're going to always find a way to bring forth their religions to try and combat what we're saying, but it's not going to be real, because we go to the beginnings of these books, it's talking to the Israelites. So they don't pertain to nobody but the Israelites, point blank. Either prophets of Israelite or somebody that's within these scriptures that you read about is an Israelite. That's who the Most High is talking to. He ain't dealing with nobody else. You just heard him say he showed up his word unto Jacob, his statutes and the judgments of Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation. That's for his judgment they have not known them. Praise ye the Most High. So he ain't dealing with nobody else but Israel. The Israelites, his chosen people. Point blank. Everybody have their, job they're going to do in these kingdoms that he set up. So, Mashiach Shai, hey, he was made just like us, coming in this world. That's how he came in the world, to show us that it could be done. An example. Exodus 4:22. Exodus 4:22. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, talking to Moses and Aaron, thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, when we was in captivity under the Egyptians, thus say the Most High, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. So you're not of the 12 tribes of Israel, the Most High, not your power. Listen, and thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus say the Most High, Israel is my son, even my firstborn, right? Say, hey, Israel is his son, right? So now, some of y'all out there say that these angels are the sons of the Most High. But I asked you once, I asked you twice, I'm going to ask you the third time. Answer this question. You say Israel is my son, right? And I say that the sons of the Most High in Genesis 6th chapter are the lineage of Enos. Adam and Eve had Seth, and Seth had Enos, and that's when men began to call on Yahweh Bahasham Mashiach Yahushua, or the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. If some of you got a problem with that name, Bahasham Mashiach Yahushua, in the name of the Lord and Savior. So that's when they start calling on the Most High to become the sons of the Most High, as it told us in St. John, the 1st chapter. Let's read verse 11 and 12. St. John, the 1st chapter, verse 11 and 12. So we deal with the sons of the Most High. It says, he came into his own. St. John 1:11. He came into his own. I told you, Hebrews 7:14 says, for it is a fact, for it is evident, that's a fact, that our power, Mashiach Yahushua, sprang out of Judah. So he came into his own, who are the Israelites. That's why I told you what it said. Remember what it said in Matthew 15:24? But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Right? He told Mary in Matthew 1:21, and she who is married shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahushua, for he shall save his people, which are of the Israelites, from their sins. You see? Because he only gave the law, statutes, commandments to the Israelites. So we the ones that would be the sinners in breaking the Most High's laws. The other nations, he got, I'll say all the nations, gods are idols in Psalms 96:5. So they, whatever they do, they're in order and following whatever they following. But we out of order and not following the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, his rules and regulations, his laws, statutes, commandments. So now it says in St. John 1:11, he came into his own, which are the Israelites, and his own, the Israelites, some of the Israelites received him not. That's 2/3 of our people. That's why we're looking for the 1/3 of our people that's going to be redeemed. It says, but as many as received him, let you know, every last Israelite did not refuse to believe in Mashiach Yahushua. Then, now, and forever. How about that? Because some of you don't believe in him now. You're going to find out, when y'all waiting for him to come back the first time, he come back to judge and make wars. We just read. Y'all better be ready. I'll tell you that. Listen. But as many as received him, but as many as the Israelites that received him, gave he power. That's spiritual power. To become what? The sons of the Most High. We just told you, Israel is my son. Become the sons of the Most High. What other nation is his son? I'll wait. Tell me what other nation the Most High said is my son. Besides the Israelites. In the flesh. Listen. But as many as received him, to them gave he power, that spiritual power, to become the sons of the Most High, even to them that believe on his name, which is Bahashem Mashiach Yahushua, in the name of the Lord and Savior, which you see in Enos. Let's go back there because I was just quoting it. Let me go back there so you'll see it and you'll have that too in your remembrance. Because I said concerning Enos, it's very important that we see this because some of you are going to be locked in with those that are not going to be in touch with the Most High in a Mashiach Yahushua when he comes to judge and make war, or before he prepare this war that we're reading about. But look, go to Genesis, the 4th chapter, I believe. Let's go there. Verse 25. And Adam knew his wife again. Genesis 4:25 and 26. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. For the Most High, said she, have appointed me another seed instead of Abel. So Seth came after Cain killed Abel, whom Cain slew. See? This is what it says. And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. As I told you, he called his name Enos. This is what it says. Then began men to call upon Yahweh Ba'Shem Mashiach Yahushua, in the name of the Most High, right? In the name of the Lord and Savior. So here we are, understanding that they became the sons of the Most High. They began to call on Yahweh, like we doing now, Yahweh Ba'Shem Mashiach Yahushua. Because David said that the Mashiach Yahushua was his power in Psalms 10:1. The Lord said unto my Lord, or the Most High said unto my power, Mashiach Yahushua, sit thee on my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool. That's what we read about when we read about him coming in Revelation 19:11 down to judge and make war. And 2nd Ezra, the things that's going to happen, the conclusion of the whole matter. Let you know. He's going to bring their strength down to the earth. There ain't going to be no but dust and smell of smoke, he said. So now, going to that question I want to be answered for all you that believe that the angels came down and had sex with women and having war on this earth and all this stuff like that. Let's see what is answer this question. One question. Hebrews 1:5. For unto which of the angels said he at any time, thou art my son? Answer that question. I've been waiting on the answer for this. Which of the angels, since y'all say the sons of the Most High came down and had sex with women, for unto which of the angels said he at any time, thou art my son? We know Exodus 4:22 said, hey, Most High said that Israel is my son. But which of the angels had the Most High ever said, thou art my son? This day have I begotten thee. And again, I will be to him a father, because, you know, a father is over the son. Is the son has a father. So he's saying, I will be to him, I'll be to this angel a father, and he shall be to me a son. Which one? Name him. Because y'all seem to be thinking that way, so you got to understand. Moses said in Exodus 4:22, Moses said, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. Romans 8:16. Romans 8:16. So answer that question. Which one of the angels Moses said is his son, and which one of the angels have he said he is his father? Romans 8:16. The Spirit itself bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. You see this? Once again, the Spirit itself bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. The 12 tribes of Israel. We are the people of the book. We are the 12 tribes of Israel. And he said the Spirit bears witness with our spirit. You hear that? The Spirit bears witness with our spirit. Not everybody's spirit, but our spirit. The children of Israel. That we are the children of the Most High. You see? And if children, then heirs of the Most High, and joint heirs with Mashiach Yahushua. If so be that we suffer with him. Hear that? That we may be also glorified together. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. The glory of the kingdom that's going to be revealed in us. For the earnest expectation of the creature waited for the manifestation of the sons of the Most High. Hear that? Every creature, everything is waiting for the sons of the Most High. See, us to be manifested before the whole world. That's why I say go put us in order right in front of your face. It's happening, but people are, you know, they lost to the fact that it's happening. But it's happening right now. Matthew 26:50. And the Mashiach said unto him, Friend, wherefore art thou come? Then came they and laid hands on the Mashiach and took him. Say, why you come? He already know. Why can't he say, hey, the Mashiach said to him,